Oh my god, dude. We're here. Why? Oh, I didn't. Stunned. Yeah. Initial reaction, stunned.
Yeah. All right. Welcome back to the 100-Point Club. Day 2 of Champs is over. We're out of the group play. Gonna start bracket play tomorrow. Didn't expect to even be doing this video, but
I feel like it would be an injustice if we didn't do this video.
We had to. We're gonna leave in about.
We are leaving for Champs in about 4 hours.
Yeah, 3.5, 4 hours. I still have to edit this.
I'm probably gonna go to McDonald's and eat my life away. You might go with me.
I'm gonna have to.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to sleep.
Yeah, you can.
We're taking at least 5 of these.
You can sleep on the road. We're good.
It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna be running that last EG OpTic series through my head over and over again.
All right, well, we're gonna save that for a minute because that series alone we're gonna talk for like 12-15 minutes.
There's no way we don't. It's fine.
Pull up the bracket real quick for me.
Gotcha.
We can cut this part. It's on the tab. So the bracket fell about how I thought it was going to, excluding the one thing everybody knows that thing that we're gonna talk about in a minute. The only team I think I got wrong outside of was Team Sween, which they brought the thunder, man. It was pretty awesome. I'm really excited. 6 LCQ teams in the bracket. Mm-hmm. I think that speaks a lot about not only how deep the competition is, but just how crazy it is to play for a $1.5 million prize pool.
I think it speaks to this year a lot, where it's like these teams coming out of the LCQ, some of them barely made it, and here they are over Echo Fox, over OpTic.
I knew that was coming. Thank you, Tommy. Thank you. But I mean,
I just don't get it, man.
I mean, it just shows that we're in a point where we have the top tier, which is your Rise, your Reds, your TKs, who didn't really have a great first 2 days, but I mean they're still there, thanks to Lightning Pandas with a reverse sweep. But it wasn't looking good. But I mean, but you have that top 3 right there, and then it's like 15, 18 teams right there that could all compete to get somewhere. And yeah, there's going to be some better than most, like your E-Uniteds and your. I would even say E-United's like a borderline.
Yeah, they're up there at
team.
the elite.
They're like right there.
They're on the border, yeah.
If they could get a little bit more consistent, they'd be there. But I mean, you have like all of these teams that are just like right in the mix.
And maybe I'm wrong, but to me, I don't remember seeing a map that E-United is just like absolutely dominant at. Like they're pretty good at everything.
London Docks is a pretty dominant map for them. I think the only time we really watch them play it is against OpTic. But I mean. And that's because OpTic is also very dominant on that map. A little bit more dominant than United, but...
So I don't have stats, anything on it. I could be wrong. Maybe there is one that they excel at. I just, out of memory, I just don't have one.
I remember Clay was on the desk at Pro League, Stage 2, and he said, he was like, I don't know why people play us London Docks. And they were like 14 and like 1 or 14 and something before they played OpTic. So they're lethal at London Docks, which is why nobody plays them, But, I mean, like, outside of that, I mean, looking at the bracket itself, who's your favorite coming out of the left? Is it EG? Or is it FaZe? Like, you got the Stage 2 top 4 playing each other. You got the grand final from Stage 2, Rise and TK, and then the 3rd and 4th place teams in Red and United playing each other in the first round. Then you have an LG team that we haven't seen since Anaheim playing Elevate to... Like, that side of the bracket. And then you have Unilad. And then you have Doug. Like, let's not forget. Like, we talk about Doug. Let's talk Dashy. This man dropped 60 in a scrim. It was a scrim, I know. But 60 kills is ridiculous.
And that's not even what I was going to say. I think it was the first episode of this. I don't remember if it was a private conversation or if it was the first 100-point club. I said complexity will go as far as Dashy.
I think you did say that in the first one. But, I mean, like, that right side of the bracket.
That is stacked. But as far as my favorite coming out of the left...
Lightning Pandas? If they play? Teddy Rex?
It's FaZe for now.
Yeah, I agree.
That is my horse that I'm riding on because I don't see them losing to Envy.
And I don't see them losing to anybody else on that side. If they can beat FaZe, I can see them beating
My condition on that is if Theory keeps playing the way that he was early on...
Yeah.
Lightning Pandas has a solid claim.
I think if you see the EG that you saw against OpTic, that they might win the damn thing.
I think that's honestly. I just think that's the curse. I just think it's Eggs and OpTic.
That is the best storyline. You can't convince me that that's not the best storyline. But we might get to see Scraps and Weskin in the second in winners round 2, and I am pumped. I'm sad we don't get to see Formal and LG and OpTic, but I don't think OpTic would have fared very well.
Maybe
if they played like they did.
It's still, I think Search is their big issue, and then by the time that they got to the CTF, they were just like, well, we've been punched in the mouth. Like, there was no recovery on it.
Yeah, as far as the way that Pools played outside of OpTic, because that was the biggest shock of the entire Call of Duty Championships, was there anything that stuck out to you, like that surprised you that happened? For excluding Pool H. Excluding Pool H, because we know that OpTic is like the biggest stun.
Yeah, the things that shocked me the most, Sween, obviously.
That was huge, yeah.
I think I had them going 0-3 in my predictions. So, yeah.
I can't remember what I had them doing. I think I even...
Stands out to me.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about them, so I had them going 0-3 as well.
But what's crazy to me is I first saw that roster and was like, that has potential. Like, I like all four of those guys.
He's good.
I like all 4 of them. And then by the time that the tournament actually got here, I was just like, but there's so much talent on board, I just don't see them doing it. And then...
They did it.
Yeah, they really did it. They did it in a huge way.
That was awesome.
Other than that, Vitality...
Believed in them the entire way, man. They were top 2 in my heart.
I mean, not knowing the guys on Vitality and knowing how big that stage can get, that was my big worry. It's like, yeah, Tommy, if he picks somebody up, they're probably lethal. Like, they're probably going to be good. He's only not made, one champ?
I think
so. Or one championship bracket?
I think it was BO2. And that was, like...
it was Ghosts, maybe? He lost to TK. He tweeted about it earlier. He lost a Game 5, like, round...
Yeah, BO2 had champs.
6-4, maybe, something like that.
Okay.
I think it was Ghost. Might need to be fact-checked on that. I'll add it to the video. Anyway, yeah, they were kind of the surprise for me, just off the fact that I didn't know those 3 guys, other than Tommy. And so it's hard for me to be like, oh, yeah, 3 dudes I've never heard of that don't play against this competition regularly are going to be able to do that. Didn't have that one looking too hot. Other than that, no real surprises. We were both pretty big on...
I thought the predictions actually were pretty solid. I was actually kind of surprised at how right we were.
And I said it in my my part of the last poll predictions. Like, Elevate has a chance to make it out. I didn't think it would be over OpTic, but I thought they had a chance to make it out just off the fact that...
I mean, Spacely's been there before.
They're a competent... Yeah, Spacely's been there before. They're a competent respawn team, but having Major Maniac on your team with a Search...
Bump,
that's ridiculous. And so if you're going to Game 5, I trust him just like the lethal situation. Mm-hmm. With Teddy, it's like you can't really...
You can't go against him in Search.
Yeah, it would be hard, especially in a clutch situation, to be like, I'm putting money on the other guy versus the one that came up in the scene playing Search tournaments and absolutely robbing people of their money.
Yeah. So, I mean, overall, wasn't really... Swing was the only surprise to me. Everything else kind of happened. Well, and we'll talk about that, I guess, right now. So, as we know... looking at the bracket, it's going to be a little bit different. OpTic is not going to be there.
Yeah, that's the big one.
It's just sitting here trying to talk about it is absolutely stunning. Like to be in the situation that we are in with the biggest tournament of the year without arguably one of the best organizations over the entire time that COD Champs has existed is just mind-boggling. Like,
yeah, it's a shame that they're not here, but at the end of the day, all you had to do really was
you had to win one map. You had to win one map.
And in general, just improve at Search.
Yeah,
that's really your biggest thing.
And you had your chance because you're playing against. I mean, Elevate's great at Search, so like that's fine. Plus, you played Texas, garbage map. I'll chalk that one up, and that's fine. Supremacy, you beat them in Search. Good job. Not that impressive.
Not impressive at all.
You go up against an EG team that has struggled in Search almost since their formation, outside of the first event.
Yeah, the first event they were good, but I mean, you just went 11-3. Like what? How can you be, especially this late in the game? How can you be struggling at Search when you have methods on your team? A guy that for his entire career, really, he's been solid at Search. I don't know if the shot calling was bad. I don't know if their just general strategy was bad. I don't know what it was that they couldn't piece together and fix. It just blows my mind.
I especially against a team that has struggled so much as EG has at search.
Yeah. Like, if this was, let's say...
If this was like Rise... Or
yeah,
like
any Rise, or like somebody with TJ, or like Lethal, guys who are good at search.
Like, I'd understand. Like, you lose a search. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But EG, unless... Like, regardless of the fact if something changed. Regardless. Like, they won... They lost, like, 14 straight search matches. In the Pro League.
Their search was laughable before this. We're talking about you guys came in, both of you came in as a meme. You losing search was something that everyone
like 2-3-5.
It's just
2-3-5. Those are the three numbers that killed OpTic.
It's ridiculous.
You put 2-3-5 together with Aches. You don't even need the 5. You just need 1, 2, and 3 apparently. Which I don't know. Like what went wrong in that hard point? Like I don't know. Like on Jib, that was a great map for them that they've played well. It just I don't know. It's stunning to sit here and talk about like what happened.
And was it on Hot Mic maybe, or maybe Trading Shots? I don't remember which one it was. Maven was talking about the idea of search wins championships and how he thinks that's not true, and that the most dominant teams that we've seen are the guys that come out and win champs.
That was Trading Shots.
Trading Shots?
Yes.
All right. I just remembered hearing Maven say it. He was like, typically, your teams that have actually won the events, search hasn't been their strong game type. So he was going away from it, saying maybe search doesn't win championships, and I think we've got pretty concrete evidence here. A team that was amazing at hardpoint should have no business dropping that hardpoint to EG.
Should really have no business dropping it to anybody that's not Rise, Red, or TK.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And even then, like I still think they have a good chance.
I think you're comfortable against Rise too. I mean, you proved you
can do it. Like they can beat any team in the game. Okay, you give up the hardpoint. Why is it all of a sudden in dire straits? Why is the series that you only need to win one map in, not 3, not 2, just one?
Just one. Like there was literally only one possible outcome where they didn't make it, and that was if they got 3-0'd. And they lost the game type that has gotten them to where they were.
And that was it. They got punched in the mouth, and then it was panic button. There was nothing, like watching the middle of that search, they looked like they had no idea what they were doing. There were times where 2 people were just huddled up mid-map looking for something, like trying to force something. But you're standing right next to each other. One's got a sniper, one's got an AR. Like one's trying to watch for a flank, and the other one's like watching Fire Alley on the offensive side. You're like, at what point was this ever going to work? It just seemed like they had no strategy for either bomb, and they were just playing for a pick.
Yeah.
And that definitely doesn't work, especially on the other side, playing defense. Crim got blooded, I think, 3 rounds in a row or something like that. Like, you can't let that happen.
No.
Like, and I think that was the story of their search a lot of the times this year, was IW, Crim was the last one up so many times. I think almost every time that we brought it up, it was almost a meme last year. We would bring up that Crim was just off by himself, like, holding something down, while everybody else was getting, like, destroyed at, like, A-bomb or something on, like, throwback.
Yeah.
You're like, wow, they're all completely decimated, but Crim clutches up like a 1v2 because he was just the last one up, and
now it's the opposite.
Yeah, and now he's not on the map to do anything. And I feel like I saw that all year long, and it just blows my mind, especially for a guy that's as good as Crim6.
Yeah, we're not at all in any way, shape, or form shooting down how good and how phenomenal of a career.
No, this is not a shot at any of the players.
This is just it doesn't make sense how the search didn't work with 4 players at the caliber that they had. Because I mean, and I feel like we talked about it before, is like how Octane was so good with LG.
Yeah.
And it was consistent. But he gets to OpTic, and I feel like a lot of that, the problem that we had originally where it was like OpTic didn't know how to play the game. I feel like that hurt Octane. He went from a team that knew what they were doing at all times to a team that just kind of did their own thing. And I don't know. I personally don't know. It looked like they played it pretty well. They were playing the game pretty well. I can't say anything. They were 21-6 in hardpoint coming in champs. Hardpoint wasn't a problem.
Yeah, that was definitely not an issue.
I still don't understand why they weren't good at CTF.
That I don't know.
Because it's almost the same principle as Hardpoint as far as like how they play. Like OpTic plays to slay people out. CTF is literally a slay out game type. You slay people out, you grab flags, and you cap them. I don't understand how they're not good at that. But I will say this. EG played the best CTF that they've played all season. Since this roster formed, that CTF was the best one that they've played. That was so phenomenally played.
And I think they've had opposite issues with the first roster. I remember seeing them play. I want to say it was Red, and they got beat, or they were down like the first half of a London Dock CTF, and they were down like 5-0. I remember seeing that and being like, "What is happening here? Why? This is still the formal and Karma roster. Like, why are these 4 guys just getting absolutely walked on like this?" And then they came back and responded with 3 caps, but they gave up another 2, so it was like 7-3 or 7-4. You're like, is everyone else just playing this faster than them? What is the issue here? How do they let 7 caps go away in any game type, or in any map in CTF? How does that happen? How do you give that up? And how is there 11 total on either side?
Mm-hmm.
And so it just looked like, I remember seeing several plays from them where they're just pushing up individually, but doing it super fast. Now this time around, I think they kind of played it slow, trying to get something going on the good side against EG in the first half, and never really materialized. And then in the second half, they just fell back into their old ways. We're like, all right, well, playing for that slow control style, kind of like EG plays, that didn't work out for us. And so now I'm going to single rush cabin and try to make a play.
And I mean, I don't like Arden CTF. I haven't since it's just too slow, and the spawns are just too awful.
Yeah, they're just weird.
I've never liked Arden, and I'm not using that as an excuse, obviously, but like, I've just never been a fan of that map and game type. But I mean, they needed another one because like all they would have had is Docs and Flak, so like, I don't know, but I mean, it's just stunning to see that they're not there. That we won't see them on a weekend.
The search in particular still blows my mind. It's like, what is it? Why? Where's the issue with that? Like, Silly got down mid-map like 4 times. Yeah. And whether it resulted in a first blood or not, like the round where I think he and Apathy both got through, that should have been an absolute murder on the side of EG. They should have cleaned that round up incredibly fast.
That was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal. If they put that into strategy, I'll give Bevels 100% of the credit because that was phenomenal.
Yeah, but I just, how you get already killed from that same rush, and then you still miss your stun again, like 2 rounds later, like where's the issue? Where are you expecting them to be that you're not stunning 2 people getting down middle untouched?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't know where their issues were, if it was just couldn't learn this game, didn't sync with them correctly, but you had kids that were S&D stars coming in and just really playing phenomenally all year long in this game, and somehow you didn't learn from that. Somehow you didn't learn the right nade, smoke, stun spots. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's weird. That's bottom line. It's weird to see him not there. But with that being said, looking back at the bracket,
Keep going.
We've already talked about it being really right, favoring the right.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a bloodbath. I don't know. I mean, I think you'll see a FaZe EG winners finals or winners semis with I'm going to go out on a limb and say Rise and United. I think that the team's ready. I think they're ready. It's going to be interesting, and I think we'll see I don't think that United will make it into winners finals, but I do think we'll see like a Rise FaZe winners finals. The left side is so unbalanced. It's so unbalanced, and that's not anybody's fault but the teams that were favored to win. Like United finished second in their pool, TK finished second in their pool. They did this to themselves. So I mean, it's not anybody's fault, but really, they didn't perform. So this is what you get. Which I think that's fair. And it's going to be tough. It's going to be an interesting weekend, and I couldn't be more excited to be there for it.
I'm so glad that we're going to be there. What is your favorite matchup that could happen on either side?
Scraps Wuskins. There's no doubt in my mind at this point. Like, I've already gotten Pat and OpTic. Like, if I was going to get Pat and OpTic and Scraps Weskins, if I wasn't going to get that, I would get Formal and OpTic, Scraps Weskins. Like, those are the two. So I already got one of them. Can I just get the other one? And I think it's going to happen. I love Doug. He's a cool dude. Or he seems like a cool dude. I've never met him, but I think Dashy's the next little goat.
Yeah, I think Dashy's next up.
But
1,000%.
I don't see them beating Unilad. Especially with Weskin finally getting a chance to be like, I'm going to get to play my brother.
Yeah.
And even though I picked United to win that series, I still really want to see that happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. But that's the storyline that I want to see. I do want to see Tommy go a little bit farther, just for the fact that he can just keep rubbing it into Splice's face that he was dropped, and that he took 3 janitors to champs and into bracket play.
Nick asked me what happened with the Vitality win, and I was like, well, nothing much except Vitality took the guys from Globo Gym all the way to COD Champs and then made championship bracket with them. I don't know.
I love it. I don't know why. I just had a hunch that Tommy was going to get him to bracket. It seemed favorable for him, and good for them. They did it. Team Sween, I'm excited to see how they do.
Yeah, they for the pure fuck of it, it would be fun to see Sween and Vitality match up.
They kind of took the entire champs by storm. Yeah. They 3-0. They were 3-0, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
On the other side, though, like you were picking from the Rise, United, that side of things.
Cluster of great teams.
I'm going to go to the other side of the bracket and just say I think my potential favorite matchup on that side would be Lightning Pandas and FaZe, because I just think those teams match up well against each other. It'd be interesting to see the Zuma, supposed to be the dominant sub all year long, versus Theory, a guy who struggled
but has 2 championships,
but has somehow managed to hang on for 2 champs. But he's playing well at this event.
Yes, he's been up and down, but he's been more up than he has been down.
Better than
he's been more up than down.
Yeah, and he's had some really good moments, just like times where you look and you're like, Dylan either made a play or is leading this team right now. And I think that stands out huge. But Royalty, Gunjar, 2 of my favorite guys that weren't in the Pro League at any point this year. And I just think that they're, as a team on this Lightning Pandas squad, they've just been explosive.
Yep.
And I want to see them play another really good, high-caliber team. And Lethal's good. Sure, they'll play EG or Vitality. Both good teams. They've showed it at this event. Like, clearly, they've made it this far. But I just think FaZe is the most interesting team on that side of the bracket still.
Especially if they keep up the hard point.
And for me, I don't know why. There's nothing really in particular outside of just I think those teams would be fun playing against each other. But that is the one that has my eye right now as a potential thing to happen.
Wouldn't it be something? I don't think it's going to happen, but boy, wouldn't it be something if LG won champs. Oh my God, Formal would be over the moon.
JCap joining the club.
The 3 Ring Society. Dude, I would feel great for Cap. I would feel great for Formal. I would feel great for John too, and I guess I'd feel great for Jerry. I kind of went through the entire, but I would specifically feel the most. JCap's been one of my favorite players from the beginning of my beginning in competitive Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So like, if he wins his 3rd ring, that'd be huge, and I'd be excited for him.
That would be awesome, and also John, probably one of the unspoken heroes of Call of Duty. Like,
oh yeah, MVP of what? He was Black Ops 3 MVP, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, he's so good, but so many times he just gets skipped over as one of the elite conversation guys, and it's not right. It's not fair to John. He's been incredible for he won his first major in Black Ops 1 with Fear.
Something like that.
Yeah, they won Raleigh, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, had to be. Ever since then, man, he's just been elite. He's always been at the top. There's not a year where you look at any given event, really, you're like, John is up there in the mix for, best in the game or,
even in the conversation. Yeah. Let's rapid fire a little bit. Out of the right side. All right. Who's coming out of the right?
Just the first round matchups?
Yeah. Who's coming out of the right?
I shouldn't say E United, but I'm fanboying for him right now, so I'm going to say E United comes out of that. I'm just going to go pick by pick.
Yeah.
E United, Unilad by a hair. LG, I think, pretty clearly. And then, honestly, I think TK could beat Rise.
Think so? That's cool. I'm gonna go just for storylines. I know I said earlier that United's gonna make it out, but just for storyline purposes and my gratification, Red, Unilad, LG, Rise. TK didn't sell me with their play the last 2 days, and granted, Rise didn't play well versus Lethal, but that was really the only one they didn't play well against. So that's what I'm gonna go. But
it's totally fair. But the thing is, the last time I doubted TK,
they won it.
They
won
the
damn thing.
yeah.
Yeah. Who's winning champs?
Yeah, I thought we were going to the other side of the bracket.
No.
Right,
okay. Is the champ coming out of the right side of the bracket?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Now, who's winning champs? And we don't need to talk about the left side. We've already kind of discussed who's coming where from left, who we want to see. So, who's winning champs?
That's so hard. Oh my god.
$600,000 check. Who's holding it at the end of the day?
Since my predictions have already gone kind of to shit anyway, I'm gonna just double down.
All right, go fanboy with the United there.
I'm gonna just double down on the United.
I think it'd be great. That'd be the greatest way for Clay to win a tournament.
Yeah,
I'd feel good for them too. But I'm gonna say Red. I think Red's gonna win it. Just off of. Dang it! I just backed off of my original prediction with the United. I think Reds. Well, I mean, I could still be right.
You can still be right. Yeah. They could lose the matchup.
Losers bracket run. They're always slow on Friday, or whatever. But yeah, I think Red's gonna win it.
That's a rough Friday.
I think Red's gonna win the big one.
I can see that. That right side is so stacked that asking just off of those teams who's gonna win, you're like, what if they gas each other? What if they get to the point where they're just exhausted and then FaZe comes out of the left side of the bracket and was just like, thank you for the 3-0.
Thank you for the free championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, one more for the road. It's just a hypothetical. Don't think this is going to happen in any capacity, but it was something that kind of passed over my head in the last hour or two that we've been thinking about this before we started recording. You've got Ghost coming out of that bottom side of the bracket.
Yeah.
You got EG up top.
Yeah.
Parasite versus Aches.
That'd be intense. The two biggest mouths, I would say.
Two of the biggest mouths, and probably the two biggest polarizing figures.
Yeah, those are the two biggest figures from a polarizing standpoint. And
I don't think it's going to happen.
I think Team Sween's going to win that matchup specifically.
Yeah.
Now that I said they were going to go 0-3, they went 3-0. I'm just going to jump on the bandwagon now. So
listen, I don't have any more predictions. Yeah. That's why I just went with the United.
Yeah.
I was like, I like them. If Clay
wins champs, I have a soft spot for Clay and Preston. I've come to really like Preston.
I got to root for Arceus at this point because we share the same name. Yeah. So
and then Fellow's just kind of there.
The Fellow's
he's great though. He's great though.
He's ridiculous at this game. No disrespect to him at all.
Yeah, but I mean, if Clay ended up winning champs, that would be a storybook ending for him specifically. And
I think this team has been on the verge so many times.
They've been if they just got consistent, they'd be fine. And I think they're starting to get there, this is the perfect time to do it. So, but yeah, if Aches and Parasite faced off against each other, and that would be winter semis when that would happen. Mm-hmm. That'd be intense. But the one thing, I haven't seen Aches that hyped since Ghosts.
I was going to say since they knocked him out.
Yeah.
As C9 and Black Ops 3.
Well, yeah, we're not going to C9 Black Ops 3. That was a lot bigger of a moment. It's 5-5, round 11. You're not gonna not get hyped. But as far as just like a standpoint of like that was the most hyped I've seen Aches since probably Ghosts. As far as like
my one like thing out of the whole Aches is the OpTic killer. It's like, yeah, he's knocked OpTic out several times now, or put them in a position where they could have been knocked out. But he hasn't really gone on to.
Yeah, I mean, he's the OpTic killer. After he's killed OpTic, it doesn't matter what he's done.
It's not a shot at Aches. It's just like statistically, he just really hasn't like the energy that he brings against OpTic just doesn't show up elsewhere. Not that that's a horrible thing. Like you need that hype to even get past them, and it's ridiculous how many times that they've matched up against each other at champs. Frankly, like
when it's mattered, too.
Yeah. So how does this keep happening?
I mean, you look back at it. Every year since OpTic beat Aches in 2013, I think it was. Every single year that they've played each other, the Aches has won. Mm-hmm. And the only time they haven't was last year, and OpTic won the damn thing.
So, like,
I mean, at this point, like, Eggs can put in his bio on Twitter is like, we've got Ted Cruz as the Zodiac Killer. Pat Price is the OpTic Gaming Killer.
All right, one more thing before we close out here. If you had to just pick a tournament-wide MVP right now, you have one person.
Oh, God.
I will flip the bracket back over for you so you can... You need a reference here?
I didn't watch much today, to be honest, but... Prestini?
I answer that. He has been frying.
He's played phenomenal.
He has been frying.
From what I've watched.
I know I have them picked to lose their match, but so far, it's Dashy to me.
That was the two. It was him or Dashy, to be honest.
Dashy has just made every play that they could have asked from him, and it's been ridiculous. Mm-hmm. There were, at one point, I don't remember who they were playing. It was the London Docks CTF, and a flag had just come out, and it was like, I think the casters even made a point. They're like, when we go to it and say, oh, Dashy's the only one up, typically that's in a negative connotation. We're saying, like, they're in trouble. Dashy's the only one up. But because he had gotten, like, back-to-back two pieces, like, just repeatedly, they were like, this isn't even a negative thing anymore. You want Dashy to be the one up.
100%.
He stunned him. Teammates got there. They stopped the flag. And I was like, there it is.
Man dropped 16 a scrim. That is all. 16.
And then, like, honorable mention goes to, was it Maple that stopped that flag run, their Vitality at the end? They had, like, a 3-man push on Flag Tower.
Was that in the last series against... Because if it was, I didn't get to watch it, so I wouldn't know.
Okay, yeah, Echo Fox they were up, I want to say it was 3-0 going into the half or whatever. Echo Fox was threatening to tie it. Maybe it was like a 4-3 situation.
Yeah. And
they were pushing for the flag. I don't remember if he got the stun off or a teammate did, but somebody got a stun off. He picks up a 2 or a 3 piece, I don't remember, but he completely halts the play by himself, gives time for his teammates to get up, and then they hold on.
I would give honorable mention to Dashy, but a second honorable mention, LOL, replays.
Yeah, Reap, that makes sense.
That he's been phenomenal, and that's been a year-long thing.
Yeah, that's just
like he's just been great for a full year, and it's just under the radar. He's kind of like the under the rug goat. Like nobody thinks about how good the man is, and he's literally the smartest S&D player I think I've ever seen pick up a controller.
Yeah, I don't think it's a question. Invariant, anyway, like sure that's a completely different conversation for your GB S&D kids or UMG whatever. But as far as variant goes, it's very, very hard to go against him.
Yep.
There's 2 names at the top of that list. Unfortunately, Fizz no longer with us, but it's him and Reap to me. They're
2 of the best.
If Imbos was still competing, maybe, but at this point, no. It's really just those 2, and it's the distance between the rest of the competition is just not even in the same atmosphere.
It's going to be great, and I think I'm good if you're good.
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
Thank you guys for giving love to the first 2, and that's pretty much. Me and Alec both felt that this pool play didn't need to go untalked about. I feel like we both thought that it needed to be discussed.
As soon as it ended, as soon as we were wrapping up, getting those final few teams across, I was like, I know we said the last time.
We probably wouldn't do one before champs.
Yeah, we would probably just let it ride until at least like Friday night. But
tonight we couldn't. You can't pass up.
When something like this happens, when you have Pro League teams not making it specifically
6 LCQ teams qualifying,
something ridiculous.
That's
like
wild.
That. It's hard not to get on and talk about it because this is what we do. We'd be talking about it anyway.
Yeah,
might as well put a mic in front of us, get it done.
Yeah.
But for real this time. The next time we upload, it will be from Columbus. We will see you guys.
Because we have to leave in like 3 hours.
We are really cutting it close here. I have to edit this thing.
Man.
I don't know what we're going to do. But again, we'll see you guys in Columbus if you're going to be there. If you see us, recognize us, please don't hesitate. Say
stop
hi.
us. Say what's
Come
up.
talk to us. Let us know what you thought about any of these days, anything going on in Call of Duty or esports in general.
What shocked you about today? Outside, I mean, if you want to talk about OpTic, talk about OpTic. But
please
if there's anything else that shocked you, please don't hesitate to comment. Drop a thumbs up on the video if you haven't subscribed to the channel.
And I didn't do this earlier, but you can find me on Twitter at CounterCap, him on Twitter, MindOverBryan, YT.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. But thank you all for watching. The support on these last couple of videos has been insane. I appreciate all that. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, probably.
Champs, baby.
Yeah, champs.
See you, boys.
Peace.